absolute honor to have the legend Sully Mervis on the podcast today. What is going on?
My name is Mervis. I'm from Carmel, Indiana, and yeah, I race MotoAmerica. I'm in the Talent Cup, and then I've also done a couple one-off Twins Cup rides so far this year, just at Ridge.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. And before we get into those on-off, Twins Cup races that you have been taking part of, man, let's talk about how you got into it, man. Where did your journey begin on two wheels?
So I kind of have an odd background coming into racing, getting into racing motorcycles in general. Um, Both my parents never really were into motorcycle racing. They'd never seen the concept. They thought it was, if they'd even heard of it, they would think that it was a weird thing to do. But when COVID happened in 2020, um, we had a friend who sold us a dirt bike. He sold my dad because my dad wanted me to do something mechanical. Because one of the things that I'm doing right now is I'm studying for a degree in mechanical engineering, and so my dad bought a XR80, a Honda XR80, and we basically tore it apart and rebuilt it, got it running again, and put it all back together. And then I went out in the backyard and I rode around in circles. And all of a sudden, I told mom and dad that, hey, I want to race. So after that, my dad was like, race, what does that even mean? Like, you want to race dirt bikes? You want to race motorcycles? Like, what is it that you want to do? And so we went to a couple different forms of racing, a couple different disciplines. We went to a motocross race. My mom immediately said no to that because we saw people jumping and landing on each other. So it's cool, but mom just
Mom's like, I'm not having it.
no. Um, we went to a woods race and a hare scrambles, and I saw a bike hit a tree, and the tree won. The rider was okay, but again, that was something that dad was like, no. Um, and then we went to a flat track race, and that was like, okay, I like that, and I want to try and do that. Like, it seems pretty safe, and it seems like, hey, this is going to be really cool. Um, and then after that, I kind of watched On Any Sunday in the basement with my mom and dad, and then we saw road racing, and I fell in love with that immediately.
You're like, this is what I want to do right here, road racing. Let's go.
Absolutely. I mean, I saw the leathers and I saw, like, I forget there's a movie that's about Wayne Gardner and his rise to getting the 19, I think 88 World Championship. I think it's 21. Um and it was about his story, and that was really cool seeing all the different colored leathers and stuff like that. And I immediately fell in love with that, and I immediately fell in love with the flashy colors. I didn't even know what MotoGP was or Moto America was until around early 2020, late 2020, early 2021. But the minute I found out about like all these different things with road racing and found out about motorcycle race, I just fell more and more in love. The It's kind of like I couldn't put down a shovel, and I kept on digging, and I kept on digging a hole, and it got deeper and deeper and deeper.
I love it, man. I love it. Everybody's journey and path is unique in their own way, and when they discover motorcycles, they don't realize at the time. Well, we do, like, oh my God, I'm so in love with them, but we don't realize at the time how much it's going to actually change our lives. Um,
Oh,
it- yeah,
oh
right.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And the people you meet along the way and the friends and the family, it's just absolutely amazing. It really is. In flat track, I think that's one of the best ways to train for racing motorcycles for sure. Huge fan of flat track. I went to Daytona for the 200. Big shout out to Eddie K and KSR. They actually invited me out on the team. Went and hung out with my boy Sammy Halbert. Big shout out to him, legend, right? And I seen the flat track, bro. I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" It was absolutely amazing. But flat track, getting into road racing. So, talk us through your journey. Like, where did it begin? Did you go to like SFL Mini GP, or how did all that start?
no. So I didn't even go to any of that. Like I with me, I my dad didn't know the first thing, so what we did was we went to American Super Camp in Springfield because we got recommended by a friend,
Danny Walker.
and yeah, that's how I met him in April of 2021. That was my first time on a bike in a competitive, like, training aspect. Then I went to from there, my dad bought an Ovali 160 and a Milwaukee MD 250 from the specifically just from the Schwann School, and from there we went to champs or not champ school, superbike school at I think it's the Corvette Museum track. I'm pretty sure. Um, yeah, yeah. I went there and my dad took the class as well, and he saw me go by him while he was on an S1000 and I was on the 250, and he decided that that was it for him and I was that I, I was gonna race. But like I when I was riding, I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I was just having fun. Like that's all it was to me, and it was pretty serious, but it wasn't super serious yet. Like it was something to go do. It wasn't necessarily, oh, this is what I do now. But after that, we went to I think Road America, and that was one of the first times that I rode on the Ovale with other kids who were fast around me. I think that there was a Kerr Motor School, I'm pretty sure, and I'm fairly certain that a lot of the kids who I raced against in Junior Cup last year were at that school, and so that was pretty cool. I then raced a little bit of flat track on a CRF 150X, like one of them. It's just a Mad Dog bike, and we took it to a couple different races. But I think my first one was around a year or around 4 years ago today, or 4 years ago, like this month in July. Not today, but like this month, and that was the first big step for me to get into actually flat track road racing because I took the leap of faith and tried out and tried to race, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's everybody remembers their first time on the track, first time road race, first time getting your knee down, right? It's it's always a magical moment, you know. And from there, what your journey to Moto America? What was that like?
So from there, I kind of like I didn't really take racing like, and I didn't really race uber competitively up until around, I want to say, middle of 2022. That's when I started really taking it like, hey, I wanted to do it back then, but it was it wasn't I wasn't as dedicated, so, like, devoted to it until right then. And then in the middle of 2022, that's when I was like, hey, I really, really want to do this, and I want to try and do this professionally. And so, in the middle of, I want to say, June 2022, either late May or early June, we bought a 400 and I started endurance racing that at, like, I think we endurance raced it at Pittsburgh and at Barber at the GNF. I endurance raced an R3 at CMP, I think in middle of June, and I rode an NSF 250 throughout that year. We'd gone away from the Milwaukee and went up to an NSF. But from there, I kind of was like at a crossroads because, again, with my age, I just turned 18 in 2022, and it was like, well, the NSF just it doesn't make any sense for me to try and race on that. I mean, technically, I'm eligible, or I would have been eligible for something like a NSF 250 Talent Cup, but it didn't make sense. And so, um, like the thing that we wanted to do was we wanted to go into the Junior Cup and try and do like because that MotoAmerica is the highest level of racing in America, and we were like, hey, I want to do Junior Cup. That's the entry level class and that's the class that I'd probably be ready for to do. So we bought Owen Williams' bike in late 2022 when he was riding Junior Cup for the 2022 season, and I rode it out at Chuckwalla for 2 race rounds, I think, and then we didn't race until Road America, but I made my debut at Road America in MotoAmerica, and like that was my first MotoAmerica race. And yeah, I had a lot. It's been wild, really, since 2022. It's just been like leaps and bounds, and like I could never have imagined where it's taken me, and the fact that I've made so many friends in every different state, and that I've met the people that I've met, and I've made and I have these relationships that are all across the nation, and it's so cool to me that I'm able to say that, hey, I have friends in every different state that we go to.
I love it, man. I love it. I want to talk about real quick about the first Moto America race you come to, man. Was there a lot of nerves behind that?
Oh, absolutely. Um, I mean, any Moto America race can be a little bit nerve wracking at times, but I mean, especially the first one because you it was my first time that, hey, there's a crowd here now. Like, there's people here to watch me go and other riders. I know that they're watching the Superbike, but like still, like the first time in Moto America, like watching, being like, hey, there's all these people are here to watch, like they're here to watch us. They're here to watch me. They're here to watch um, Jake. They're here to watch Avery Dreyer, who was the champion in the class that year. I mean, that was a little bit nervous, like just a tad bit, because obviously, like I hadn't had to do that before. Like, I mean, with wrestling and with hockey, I mean, obviously there's people in the stands and stuff like that, but it's not like a racetrack where there's grandstands at every single corner on every single corner exit where you can see them filled. And it's at a place like Front America where Moto America typically has some of the biggest fan turnout.
Oh, 100%. I was there too, in 2022. Yeah, I remember the debut, and you did good, man. Absolutely proud of you. Yeah, and then since then, Junior Cup, obviously now it's the Talent Cup. It's now no more Ninja 400s. It's the Kramer GP 350 XP.
Yeah, APX
Yeah,
350 MA. It's
yeah. How you like that bike? How did that come along? Obviously, because Junior Cup left, so you was like, you know what? Let's just do the whole Talent Cup.
well, we kind of were at a crossroads because we my dad, like, with our whole setup and stuff like that, was like, we don't really want to have to go all the way out to California and stuff like that and do or to the Ridge. Surprisingly, we ended up there. Um, but we didn't really want to do the West Coast races on Twins, and that was the thing about the schedule, is that it inverted with Stock 1000, where Stock 1000 last year did the West Coast, this year Twins did the West Coast. Well, we kind of were like, hey, let's just try out and see this Kramer class. Like, I mean, like it's the evolutionary step from the Junior Cup bike. It's we're going away from the 400s to a more Grand Prix style bike, and let's just see how this thing, like, what's it going to be like. And I mean, it's been pretty good. Like, it's a step in the right direction for Moto America and for developing future talent, and for making sure that we have a talent cup just like every other nation in the world does. And it's a great thing in terms of that, and it's a great thing in terms of how much technology is actually on the Kramer, like how it has auto blip, how it has. It's my first bike where I've had actual engine braking adjustment and stuff like that. Um, for me though, right now, for the first couple rounds, it's been kind of hard with adapting to the Kramer because it's different from any other bike that I've ridden. And with that, you have to just treat it as a different bike. But it's still, there's been some times where it's just given me feedback that has indicated on other bikes that, hey, that's the limit. But it's not. Like, it's a false positive, and whereas, like, a 400 chattering or something like that meant that the front was about to fold, for me, like, on this bike, like, sometimes, like, you have to ride it in a certain like, there's a certain window that has to be ridden in, and sometimes the bike is gonna move around. I mean, any fast bike is not gonna be stable. It's just it's been hard to find where that window is, but I think we found it, and I think it's a great platform, like, especially for everybody and for making sure that America develops talent to go
Oh,
overseas.
100%. Did you find it difficult, finally having the auto blip and the engine braking? Did that mess with your mental game for a little bit on that?
The auto blip didn't. It was really more or less the engine braking because you don't really notice the e-throttle because it's a ride-by-wire thing. You don't really notice it until you start, like, really, really trying to, do the fine little adjustments, trying to close that gap, make it very, very small. Like, it's when it gets hard is when, hey, like, corner by corner, one corner may require a little bit more. You maybe want a little bit more engine braking, or you may want a little bit less engine braking for the corner. And the fact that it's all adjustable, like, it's not where it's a set value, like where Kramer gives you the values and say, hey, like, these are going to be the just set engine braking values, uh, +5, -4. That's about it. But you can actually adjust these values within them and adjust the increments in which the engine braking is done. And so that's been kind of one of the hardest things to understand for me because my mechanical engineering background is like I typically overthink stuff like that. And it's like take like it's a lot more control in my hand about what the bike is doing compared to the 400, which has just been kind of hard just because I've never had to deal with that as a rider.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like you said earlier, it's a bike where it's going to teach you a whole lot versus what the 400, just with all the infinite chassis setups it's got and the engine braking, and when you do get to the Twins Cup, which we'll touch on here in a minute, you got that understanding, right? So you go in with
Absolutely.
certain expectations that you already know what to expect instead of like, oh my god, what was that? And then going back and talking and learning. But you being that engineer background, you got a better understanding than somebody that don't have that type of background, right? Um, which is a plus for sure.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that I specifically, like, as a rider, because that's one of been the harder things for me to learn this season is, like, especially with the Kramer, is that, hey, I can't engineer my bike. Like, I have to, like, even though I am studying to be a mechanical engineer and I'm studying to do this and do that, and I'm doing well in school. I mean, the biggest thing is that I can't engineer my bike. I gotta let my crew do their job, and I need to get out of their way. I can't suggest things. I just need to be as honest and as plain and simple with what the bike is doing and what it is not doing and what I am doing and what I'm not doing. Because if I don't do that, then I'm I'm handicapping myself. Like, I'm preventing myself and I'm preventing my crew from being able to achieve the maximum from my feedback on the bike. If I try and solve the problems and I don't let them figure out what's wrong with the bike, then I'm doing them a disservice.
Yeah,
I'm doing
which
myself a disservice as well.
100% agreed. And you're chasing, a dog chasing its own tail in circles all the time, trying to work it out here. As you're, yeah, it's. I always say, Solly, that a racer and just a kid in general, it takes a village to raise a kid. Same thing with a racer, right? You got so many people that are around you that love and support you wholeheartedly, and it just makes your job easier too, as well. Especially right here, because how much racing is a mental game for sure.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
just like life, right? So yeah, man. And now here we are. We're 2025. Man, I can't. It's hard to say, man. It's season's halfway through already. It goes by
Yeah.
so quick. Tell us about your 2025 season and how do you feel it's been going for you so far?
So again, with the first year of the Kramer, that it's been difficult. Like, it has been difficult adapting. But what I'm happy about is that every single race, we haven't taken steps backwards. We've taken steps forwards, even though it's hard to recognize that, and it's hard to recognize it in the moment. We've taken steps forwards, like the crew, me, all of us. We've all made steps forwards, and now it's just the hard part is like, hey, we need to be able to take what we've learned and put it into action, and that's on my end. Like
Yeah.
I have to deliver on my end of the um of the spectrum. I mean, it's it's been good with that, but it's also been really good in terms of like this past weekend I got to go to the Ridge and race Twins Cup for the first time, and that was a whole bunch of fun. I mean, because one of the biggest things that's happened that's changed with with Talent Cup and with Junior Cup disappearing and now Talent Cup becoming Talent Cup, is that a lot of the friends that I made throughout Junior Cup have gone up. They did not stay in Talent Cup. They moved up to Twins Cup or they moved up on to different things. And one of the nice things was this past weekend at the Ridge was being able to see all those friends that I know and I love hanging out with, and I love being around and seeing all of them again, getting to race with them again, and see all that because it, it's it's I s- I don't know. I had a whole bunch of fun last year with them, and this year it's been harder just because I haven't done it as well as I'd like to in Talent Cup. I mean, I've done fairly well, and I for all things given with certain things just going wrong and not playing my way and just but trying to keep the bike protected, even if it's like where the bike's trying to throw me off, just trying to bring it home and get points. I mean, it's just been hard, and it's like where hey, at times like I get frustrated with how I've done, but I know that we can do better. But that was one of the nice things about going to Twins and having that.
Oh, for sure. It's a completely different animal between the Talent Cup bike and the Twins Cup. Totally different riding style too. Different lines, different braking markers. All that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you being, I don't want to say on the back foot, but new bike, new circuits, all the crew is new to Moto America too as well on your team.
No.
Okay.
So on our crew, we have uh typically we have my crew chief is Sean Stormont, and then it's Robin Hawley, who's my chief mechanic, and then it's one of my classmates. He's the data guy, Thor. Thor. Uh, his name is Thornton, but he's been incredible. Um, and then we have like he's done all the data and he's learned the 2D system on the Kramer, and that has been one of the biggest jumps that we've made in these past couple 4 or 5 weeks, where we've been able to make this good jump on to where hey, we went back from Road America, we got back to riding at a circuit that we test at Putnam Park Road Course in Indiana, and we were able to figure out like hey, I like it when the bike is set up this way from the data. And so he's been one of the biggest additions, and then Thor, and then the newest addition is Aiden, and Thor and Aiden are both classmates from Rose Holman, and they're new to the Moto America paddock, they're new to racing in general, but uh, motorcycle racing specifically in general. But they love like car racing, and they've loved, and they want to go in and join a race team or work in the field of racing someday, just as same as I do. But they it's been awesome having them because they give it their all, and I've been learning a lot, and it's also cool, really cool to see them learn and experience new things, and also tell me how hey I need to ride in certain ways, especially with the data.
They're like, Solly, listen, you got to step it up, Buttercup. Like this right here. Yeah, you got to get on that gas. Yeah, I love it.
Absolutely, that's what Thor tells me, and that's that's been one of the biggest additions to our crew that I'm so grateful for. Like I'm grateful that like he's been able to give us like Medtronic data, tell us how he's been the one who's been able to set up the engine braking stuff like that, been able to set up the shift lights and stuff like that. Because so much stuff on the Kramer is adjustable. It's so adjustable, like, and so it really plays to whatever you want. And so like we've just been ah, it's been awesome.
You've been
And
killing it.
I'm so lucky.
Good. You listen. I'm gonna tell you like this, Solid. Whatever visions and dreams you have and goals that you want to achieve in road racing, my friend, I hope you achieve them 10 times over, and I will support you 100% of the way and cheer you on. I think people that go out there and give it their all in racing is they're all legends, and you are included too. People don't, the normal fans don't understand what it takes behind the scenes, away from the track, all the hard work you guys and girls put in to show up every weekend and bust your butt to make it happen, and then, the crew you got behind you, they just come during the pit walk, fan walk, and oh, Solly, what's up? Let me get a picture and autograph and all this, right? And
Yeah.
but they don't see all the work that goes on behind after all the fun stuff for the fans. And it's amazing to see that you have an awesome crew behind you. You got some new people into new in road racing, which is helping our sport
Yeah.
grow, right? Which is what we need very
Absolutely.
badly right now. Let's just be honest. I feel like it's kind of dying in this sort of way. The reason why I say that is oh, my son, he usually bust up in here. If you Solly, if we go to the paddock right now and we take everybody that's 12, 25 years old and older out, who are we left with? These are the legends of our sport. These are the future of our sport, right? Um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it's imperative that we bring new people to the track, introduce our sport to new people. Advertisement's been uh, not so hot, right? When it comes to our sport, meaning that so when I was in Road Atlanta for the MA race, um, the only signs that I seen for it at all was literally 15 yards away from the racetrack.
Yeah. Uh, there's definitely some ways that like where it's hard to see like like what what because the issue is that I wasn't in I didn't know what racing looked like prior to
Yeah,
I didn't know what the heydays looked
yeah.
like prior to like the legendary days of like Matt Milat and other
Miguel
famous
Dudamel,
AMA
yeah.
superbike race uh uh AMA superbike racers. The issue is that I never saw that because I was doing something like one, I think I was like 2 or 3 at that time because I was born in 2004, but the other thing is that up and literally up until 2020, I had no idea what road racing was, and so the same thing even could be said for MotoGP, because MotoGP was in Indianapolis from, I believe, 2008 all the way up until 2015, and I never knew nor saw advertisement for what that was. I literally live on the north side of Indianapolis. I'm only 25 minutes away from the speedway. Like is
Nice.
that's where I live. Like I mean, I live on the north side of Indianapolis and I'm not far at all. And so like I think that it's less of an issue with maybe MotoAmerica or maybe with MotoGP, but it's just a fundamental issue of
Yeah.
hey, we need to get to like we need to grow the sport and get it to new people, get new faces inside, and get people to understand and see, hey, this is another sport because things like
Do you hear
things
my
like
son beating on the door? You go ahead, Solly. My son always busts up on
uh
me during podcast.
one of the big things
Minutes.
um is that with lost my train of thought just for a second.
Sorry, my son
With
does
F1,
that sometimes.
with F1, um, they managed to captivate the American audience by using Drive to Survive, and they managed to
Give me like
get
30 minutes.
um, they managed to get people into the sport and get new faces into the sport via the Netflix series, and um, they were able to get a huge amount of people who had never known who Lewis Hamilton or Charles
Lando
Leclerc,
Norris or
Lando
whoever, right? Yeah.
Norris, Max Verstappen. Like they didn't know who went, and I was one of those people who watched Drive to Survive in 2020 when I had nothing else to do, and I watched all of that, and all of a sudden I watched the 2021 season because of that, and we were lucky that F1 was exciting that year with a championship battle that lasted all the way to the end, but like it they've managed to do something that motorcycling has yet to do and motorcycling needs to do. Like if MotoGP and MotoAmerica can find a way to appeal to the general public because it's obvious that they love like I mean, this is America. We love sports. We have the big four in terms of baseball, hockey, football, basketball. And I mean, with three of the even though football isn't really played worldwide in other countries, I mean, with baseball and with hockey and with basketball, all three of those are world championships, meaning that like everybody else from the world comes to the United States to play this the on like for example like in hockey for the Rangers or for any other team. Like you get kids and young athletes who are from like Sweden and Russia and all of those different places around the globe and they come over to the United States to play that. So it's obvious that the United States loves sports. It's just finding a way to figure it out. Now, I don't know anything about that. I don't know how to do that. I will never claim to know how to do that because I was able to find this by an accident and I'm a mechanical person and I love these things. But like it's about we know we know that Americans love sports, so it's just finding a way to get it to connect with more people.
100% agreed with you, Solly. Well put, well said, my friend. Yeah, you're right. I agree. We need to. Everybody was in that boat, man. When it come to drive, thrive, drive to survive. Everybody was glued to the TV. I was like, even though I watched F1 before, it was just, let's be honest, it's boring, right? Then the series come out, and I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna watch the 2021 season because this was so good and it was great. That's how they hooked you, right? And then you watch it in 2022, you're like, we went kind of back.
Yeah, because it's back to
It's back to the
domination.
same. Yeah, yeah, man.
It,
So tell us about how the whole Twins Cup ride come about.
well, after Road America, um, we kind of were like, hey, we want to just go out, like do a one-off weekend, just go have some fun because the Kramer has been really, really fun. It's just like, hey, we wanted to try something different because I'd been racing on Junior Cup and those small displacement bikes, and both my coaches, who are Danny Walker and Jason Pridmore, were like, hey, let's try something different. So Mallory Dobbs, I think I don't know exactly how the deal went. Basically, she gave us a call and was like, "Hey, I have my spare bike here. I'm building a twin for me to go race at the Ridge. Would you like to come ride that bike?" And I was like, "Heck yeah! Oh yeah! Let's just go
Absolutely.
do it." And this was my first time on an R7 a uh, on a really on a twin in a racing aspect because I'd never really ridden a big bike. I mean, the only big bike I think I've really ridden was a Gixxer 750 at Coda back in December of last year. But I mean, that bike wasn't set up for me. It wasn't a Moto America bike. It was fairly stock bike just with Olin's cartridge inserts and slicks, like and race bodywork. That's it. Like it really was not like it wasn't set up for me. Like and so like it did wheelie and it had power, but it really like it wasn't my bike, so I wasn't pushing it like because it was just a track day. So but I mean with the whole deal with Mal is like, all right, the goal is just to qualify. It's just to go show up and make it on the grid. Like we know that I'm gonna be on a fairly stock R7. Like we know that like we're not gonna do any engine work. We're not gonna do any of the fancy style if I have the stock R7 front and stock R7 front end. Like because I know a lot. I'm pretty sure a lot of teams like putting on the R1 front end. I'm not sure about that, but I'm pretty sure. Um. Uh. But um. It had Olin's forks and an Olin's shock, and it was just and I had a Yosh pipe. So I mean, it was pretty much stock. I had a lap timer, and that was about it. And so no, I showed up last week at the Ridge. I think like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, this past Sunday, and basically I rode there on the Monday. Then I hung out with with friends on Tuesday. Then I took uh a computer science exam on Wednesday because I'm taking a couple classes online. Um, I had a math exam on the Thursday of before the MotoAmerica race weekend, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I rode the twin for the first time, really on Friday morning, and it was a lot of fun.
He's like, I can't wait to get back on it and ride again. So is this the preview of what the future holds for you? Is the Twins Cup?
We're still in the process of making our decisions because I mean, like the thing is that the nice thing is that Twins Cup does at least in theory it should go back to Road America, um,
Right, Atlanta.
Road Atlanta. It'll always be at Daytona,
Yeah.
but hopefully, Mid Ohio, uh,
VIR.
VIR and Barber.
Yeah.
Like that's hopefully where it's going to be at in 2026. So if that's the case, then absolutely it's an option. Another option is definitely maybe moving up to super sport. However, the only thing with that is that like I need to up my pace. Like I need to go faster. Like there's just with so many really fast riders like Blake, Kayla, PJ, um, uh,
Sculty.
Skoltz, the
Yeah.
champion, um, like Cam Peterson. These
Torin
guys have been
Collins.
riding
Yeah.
like 4 times as long as like they've been racing 4 times as long, like 4 times, some of them 4 times as long as I've been riding. I mean, like I've literally only been riding in a competitive aspect for 4 years, and it's like now I'm gonna go against people who've done this their entire life. Like that's the only thing that's like kind of a little bit where hey maybe we want to take it easy, maybe do super sport rounds, maybe just at the tracks that I know, and just the goal is the same thing as a Twins Cup ride, where it's just to finish each race and qualify and try and be as competitive as I can be with what I'm given. But like the thing is that it's just like we don't know what where to go. Like we're still just trying to
Figure it
figure it
out.
out.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I love being in Moto America, so the goal is always to stay in that.
Yeah. Listen, Solly, your your future is absolutely bright. Whatever path you choose, you're going to absolutely succeed in. And I said that earlier. I think that the Twins Cup is a good class. Super Sport's a fun class too. Speaking of the Twins Cup, man, how do you think you did at the Ridge first time out on the Twins Cup racing?
You know, it I don't think I think with what I was given, I did what I needed to do and I did what I wanted to do and I gave it my all, which is what I can just like look back and be like, hey, like I mean, I didn't leave any stone unturned.
Yeah.
I I tried to, especially in the second race. I really, really wanted that top 10. But the thing is that I don't want to say, oh, I wanted that top 10 and then bring in a complete destroyed bike. Like, the thing is that my bike was chattering throughout the entire of the second race, and I know a lot of other people were struggling with it. But we opted for the R3 front tire, and it made the chatter way worse, and and the front started pushing, and I'd already that's what cost me points on race 1 because I actually lost the front in turn 15, but I was able to save it, and I stuck my knee in the ground. I pushed the front back into the position, but it cost me 2 places, which pushed me out of the points paying positions, which that just is it was what it was, but I mean, it's better that than bringing in
Crashing. Yeah.
a crash bike. Like, I
100%.
mean, with the goal and what I wanted to do this weekend, I mean, I did everything I needed to do. Um, and I think I had a very successful weekend. You can always look back and be like, "Oh, I wish I was closer," and stuff like that. And I wish I had more, and I wish I had this and that. The thing of the matter is I did the best that I could, and then my race was against myself. The only thing I wish I was able to improve on was my lap time from race from warm up to race 2, because in warm up I ran a 53.8, and I really wanted to try and see if I could knock that down a little bit more. But it got it got hot, and I think I made the wrong call with the tire, and um it just
Backfired.
didn't play in my
Yeah.
favor.
Yeah.
So whatever.
That's part of
But
the game
I
we
did what I
play.
needed to do.
Yeah, listen, I'm proud of you. You did absolutely proper mega job. I was screaming and hooping and hollering for you because I seen you on there. I was like, yes, let's go, dude. He's in the Twins Cup this race. It's you got to, and I tell my friends that race, man, you got to be proud of yourself too, right? It might not always be what you expect right here showing up to the track. Okay, this weekend, even if you have 5 goals set before you and you did 3 of them, you still got to be proud of yourself, because that's part of the game we play. It's not always going to work out in your favor, such as life, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. Solly, my friend, dude, what a journey you've had into our beautiful circus is what I always call it. You have not been racing that long at all, and to be where you at and how fast you are already just speaks volumes of the natural talent you have. So, my friend.
Well, I'm lucky. I really am. I'm lucky to have met the people that I've met within MotoAmerica. I'm lucky to know and have friends everywhere. I'm lucky that I know my coaches and stuff like that, and that they have been instrumental in how like without them I would not nearly be where I am at.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, I may have a little bit of natural talent, but, like, without guidance, I mean, talent is just talent, like,
It's
it
wasted.
can't turn into
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think that they have taught me how to really ride and how to really, really understand, and I'm still learning. That's the biggest thing like, just because I've gotten to MotoAmerica doesn't mean that I'm done learning, and that applies to everywhere I go, even my track where I practice a lot at, and, like, where I turn laps at, there's still stuff I can work on and improve, like with my body position and with using the rear brake and using different stuff with the bike. Like, there's still so much that I have to work on that to take that next step to being, hey, where maybe I can fight for the top 5, maybe I can fight consistently be in the top 10 in that Kramer class. Um, like, there's still so much that I have to learn.
And listen, you're being taught by 2 absolute legends of the sport, Danny Walker and JP, Jason Pridmore. I mean, what? So, funny story. I met, of course, I met Pridmore 100 times. He'll never remember, right? He might remember this one though. I met him at VIR. Funny enough, right when I was actually the first guest on the podcast, and I had his Michael Jordan. So when he raced for Michael Jordan, they had baseball cards, and of course, I was like, "Yeah, I'll take this one, this one, this one." Still have them. So I was like, you know what? I'm taking this. When I meet Pridmore again, I'm gonna get him to sign it. So I see him walking through the pits. I'm like, Jason, what's up, man? Simcoe, blah, blah, blah. Dude, check this out. I still got this. He's like, holy shit, man, that's awesome. He's like, I still got a bunch of these in my house too. So he signed it for me. Yeah, dude. What a legend. What what a wealth of knowledge and how friendly he is, and just bro, you got two
Legends.
amazing, yes, dude, proper mega legends in your corner helping you out, and that speaks volumes too as well.
I mean, you look at JP, and he's helped mentor Andrew Lee
Yep,
and I think James Foley
yep.
and got guys like that. And you look at Danny, and Danny's mentored Gagne, Beach. Um, he helped out with Gillum. Yeah, he. Both of them have done so much for the sport, and they've done so well in developing riders that I am incredibly lucky, and I am like it I I say it all the time, but I don't think I understand it, like, fully at times. Like, I truly am. Like, I'm very, very, very lucky to have these 2 behind me and these 2 guiding me into doing what I need to do on the bike.
And believing in you.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Yeah, man. 100%. So, Talent Cup, you guys got what, two races left?
No, we've got 4 more.
Okay. All right. Four more. In the next races, sees the Ridge, and then VIR I know is coming up in August, which I'll be at that
Vintage
one.
Motor Days will be the next big one for Talent Cup.
Yep.
Then it's a VIR. Then I think we skip Mid Ohio for MotoAmerica
Well,
Mid Ohio,
and
and
then
then we go
Jersey.
to no, we go to Coda,
Oh
and
yeah,
then
that's right. And
Jersey.
then Jersey. Yeah. So I'll be at VIR in Jersey. I'm gonna try to make Mid Ohio too. So I don't know. We'll see.
That's
Either
awesome.
way, we will run into each other 100%.
That's the
100%.
goal.
Dude, no, it's gonna happen. And off subject, send me your address, text it to me. I got some stickers I'm gonna put in the mailbox for you and hook you up. Um,
Awesome. I'd love to have them.
yeah, man, dude, it'd be an honor, dude, for real. It's solid, dude. Your whole journey, your whole experience, and everybody you've met that helped you along the way, dude, it's been amazing, absolutely amazing. And you're just starting, my friend. Your future is very, very bright in this sport, and one day you will be a household name, and you'll be like, dude, Simcoe, look at all these championships. I remember the first time I was on the podcast. Now look, bam, I'm like, I told you, right? I told you. So, bro,
That's the
man,
goal.
it,
All
it's
I can do is
it'll
just
happen.
beaver chip it one
Yeah,
step at a time.
be happy, be humble, and always put the positive vibes out there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, always learning, man. You know, it's like I tell some of my friends, I'm like, you think Mark Marquez stopped learning? He's still learning today. Valentino Rossi, he when he was racing, I mean, shit, dude, he's kicking butt in cars, right? So he's constantly learning. Nobody knows everything on two wheels. Not the best engineer, not the best chassis guy. Everything is constantly changing. The bikes are constantly evolving. New stuff's being added, and it affects everything, the balance of the bike, right, and all that good stuff that goes along with it. So
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. So Solly, listen, I want to transition into the part two of the podcast where we get to know you away from the track. People, no worries. We're going to have Solly on many, many times. Part two will be coming up. We're actually going to schedule it right after this. But I want to start off by saying, tell us something we don't know about you at all, Solly.
So something that a lot of people don't really know unless you get close to me is probably that like I love trains. Like trains were my first like big mechanical passion, like something like that. Like I have always loved machines and big machines, and obviously the biggest ones, other than airplanes that people interact with, are trains. And so for me, that's always been something that like I've gone with my grandparents, and specifically my grandpa on my mom's side. He would always take me around his hometown, and there's an intersection of a big Norfolk Southern and a big CSX mainline intersection, and we'd literally go watch trains there because that's what like. It's one of the things that I've always loved, and especially like if we like go back out to um, Phoenix sometimes soon, like Podium Club, or like go test there, like over winter break. Like one of the things that we will try to do intentionally is that we will try and intentionally take our routes. That way, I can go to maybe stop at the Durango and Silverton on the way there, because like as I'm traveling around the country, I want to see things, and I want to see these different places and different train museums because I mean I love going to them, and if we're in there for racing, why not? Like, if we got an extra day, why not try and go see something? And so, I mean, for me, that's one of the big things that a lot of people don't know about that I absolutely love.
Terrains. I love it, man. I love it. It's good to have a passion outside of racing too, as well. Um, Keeps you focused in other ways, and it's good for the mental thing. I like trains too. Matter of fact, my son he's 12 now, but he was I think 7 or 8. It's only been a couple years ago. We have a train station down here in Roanoke. I'm in Roanoke, Virginia. And you can pay, I forget what it was, to get on you and they take you around Roanoke or whatever and bring you back. It was absolutely a lot of fun. I remember taking the Amtrak train when I was young, traveling. Yeah, I like the train. So the subway and New York and Jersey, well, that's a whole nother story, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, do you have any hidden talents nobody knows about?
um, I want to say, because I'm trying to think what would be really, really hidden. Because I can't juggle, unfortunately. I'm just not coordinated enough. I'm sorry. I've tried. Like I really have. Like that's one of the things that I really want to learn is to juggle. But I don't know how.
I'll
But
teach you.
I'd love it.
Yeah,
I'd
I'll
take you
teach you.
up on that offer.
Yeah, I'll teach you.
Um, I guess a talent. I don't know if this would classify as a talent or more of as a hobby, but I'm really good at building model warships. Like I'm really good at doing like the intricate small details on on like certain battleships and stuff like that. Um, but I don't know if that classifies as a hidden ability talent.
I mean, it does because the real small intricate stuff. I'd be like, yeah, can I'd be calling my buddy, hey man, he does like computer stuff, so he's got the little microchips, and he's all, oh, I need your
Oh
help, bro.
yeah,
I can't do this right here. Like I can't. I got yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this: what is your dream bike?
my dream bike. So for me personally, I think that there's so many bikes in the world, but if I had to choose one, I think I it's hard. I don't know the heart or the RC 213 VS, like the street bike version of the MotoGP bike. I think that that's pretty cool. Like I don't think that it can get better than that.
Have you seen one in real life?
No, I've never seen
No,
one.
I did when I went to the UK in 23. I went to Cadwell Park. It's my favorite racetrack. I love BSB. It's my favorite sports production racing series in the world is BSB. The racing is just freaking
It's
battles.
phenomenal.
Dude, and they race super bikes with no electronics on it, right? It's like, dude,
Oh, it's phenomenal.
it is.
Like the racing over there is like I mean like it's incredible.
It
Anyway,
is.
sorry to interrupt.
No, dude, bro, you're good. So I hung out with Peter Hickman at his place, and he I went back that night. It was because he just moved to a new building, so he was having this special bike night there for opening of his building. And guy pulled up. He had a RCV 213 VS sitting there, and it was, bro. I was like, "Are you kidding me right now? Look at this!" It was, dude. And then I seen all the cool bikes there, the NC35s, and oh my god, two strokes running around that I wish we had here in America. Yeah, it was, bro. It sounded so. It's unreal. It really is. It's you hear bikes on videos and YouTube and on TV watching, but when you hear them in real life, there's just no comparison. None.
No, yeah. Like I mean, it's a lot of those is like it's so cool when you actually get to see them in person. I mean, I wish there was more two strokes, like because two strokes are one of those things that are really cool because of how much engineering with like expansion chambers and stuff like that, and the jetting and trying to get that stuff right. I think that's something that I've missed out on with four strokes and stuff like that. And like I don't know. I think it's a plus minus because on one hand, like you could screw it up and you could get the jetting wrong, and then you could run the bike lean and it could seize. So I'm glad that my four stroke doesn't randomly seize on me, or if it does, like it won't throw me off the bike. Like if a motor, God forbid, blows, like I won't have to. I hopefully won't get thrown off the bike. But on the other hand, the sound and the smell of two strokes. Like,
Nothing
I
like
mean,
it.
having a two-stroke dirt bike is so cool because I just have a YZ 125 that I screw around on. And because I don't really ride moto just because again it's fairly like my my parents aren't that comfortable with me riding. And so again, it's like something that I screw around, take it on trails and stuff like that, just up and down. Um, but the smell and sound of it and the fact that it has a power band is like that's tiny is so cool.
It is. Yep. No valves, no valve springs, no retainers, no shims, no none of that. It's just yeah, they're absolutely amazing machines. And you're right, the smell and the sound. It's just yeah, the good old days, right? That's what we always
Oh,
call them, the
absolutely.
golden days. Everybody knows I love audiobooks. Do you listen to audiobooks or read?
I read
Okay.
personally. I don't know if it's that I'm just not an auditory learner, but I just with audiobooks, it's always been hard for me. Like podcasts I can do, music I love, but audiobooks I've never really been able to do that stuff.
Well, what book are you currently reading now? You can recommend to people.
One book that I have read recently is Pandora's Box. It's a book about the beginning and the causes and the political reasoning behind the beginning of World War One, why there was the different treaties and the different uh, the tangle of webs that caused the July crisis right before um, World War One began, where there was a web of whole of different clauses and different treaties where if one nation declared war on another nation, then another nation got um, would get roped in and like all that different stuff. And it discusses like the reasoning behind the Kaiser's push to use different inhumane weapons and also the use of unrestricted submarine warfare, what the reaction was inside the United States, and politically, did the United States want to enter World War One? So it's long story short, like it covers all these different topics, but it is so cool to see and like read it and be like, oh, that's why we didn't start sending this until that happened, or oh, that's why this happened and that's why this exists nowadays. So
Oh yeah, for sure. I do listen to a ton of audiobooks. It's easier for me to listen to than it does read. Solly, I find myself if I read it, I fall asleep. Unless it's my shop manual for my motorcycles, right? Then I'm all in. The current book I'm currently listening to is Change Your Mind, Change Your Diet. You know, I'm big into healthy eating and all that good stuff. That's how I lost a ton of weight. To be honest with you, I used to be a fat boy, so still got a little chub to me, but I'm working on it. Yeah. Um, so, and of course, I always recommend John Hopkins' Leather. Dude, you've got to read that book if you haven't read it. You know, you listen to, or I always say listen because that's what I'm used to do, but you read, autobiographies and you wonder how much truth there is behind that, because basically it's your story. You can basically tell it however you want to tell it, and that's how it's portrayed. Where John Hopkins, he puts it all out there on the line, talks about his alcoholism, addiction, his pain pills, smoking weed, and racing a MotoGP bike. I mean, the whole nine. And it's just, it was a breath of fresh air, having somebody come out and just be 100% honest in their book. It's a proper mega book. You should put it on your list to read for sure.
that will definitely go on my list because I mean I that adds one. There's a couple books I haven't read yet. I really want to read Rainey's book
Yeah.
as well. Like that's one of the big ones because like I have a book about like when Honda went flat tracking. I mean my dad got it. It was his present for himself, and I have a couple books like that talks about like Ducati's different like the different Ducatis in World Superbike before they really entered MotoGP. But like I think that would be a really cool one, reading John Hopkins' autobiography. Because Casey Stoner, I think, did one, and
It's
I
good
think I
too,
read it. It's pretty good.
but it's kind of
I just
boring.
I mean, it's just it was. I don't know exactly when it was written. I don't think it was written within the last like 5 years. I think it was written closer to
Yeah,
like 2 or 3 years after he retired.
yeah.
And the big thing is that I'd like to see what his opinions are now. Now that he's out of the been out of the sport. I think he retired at the end of 2012.
Yep.
So now that he's been out of the sport for around 13 years, now I'd love to hear what his opinions are and stuff
He's
like that.
he's always been one of my favorites. He to this day, he's had the most natural talent that I've ever seen anybody that's ever thrown a leg over a motorcycle. I don't care what people say. Yeah, Valentino Rossi's the GOAT. I named my son Hayden Rossi after, Nicky Hayden and Valentino, huge fan, but talent wise, man, Stoner would get on a bike and literally go out there within a lap and just annihilate the track record, come back and sit in the pits for 30 minutes while everybody's trying to play catch up. It was
Yeah,
yeah, he was he
and
was he was a different breed for sure.
he also blessed us with so many different battles, like
He did.
Laguna Seca. Like you just name one race to get people interested in the sport. Show them that race. That will get that Laguna Seca 2008. I think is when
Yep,
that was
it was.
that was the big battle between
Rossi
those
and
two.
Stoner, yeah,
And you you show them that race, you will have new fans immediately.
100%.
Like there's just like and that goes back to the big thing. Like the thing is versus F1 and stuff like that is that motorcycle racing, the package that we are selling, like sorry to go jump on this, but like it's an exciting sport, but like it's just yeah, like it's just figuring out a way to get to everybody. But sorry.
No, you're good. Solid. You're good, brother. It's I agree. I would love to hear his opinion now since he's been away. He was the writer that always spoke his mind. And that's what I really liked about him too. But he was devastatingly fast. Still to this
Oh
day,
yeah.
I think that if he didn't retire, Marquez wouldn't have as many titles for sure. Um,
No,
so
that's the thing I think that we got a little bit shorted of. I
100%,
really, really would have wanted to see a Marquez versus Stoner title fight. Like, I mean,
100%.
I think that it would have happened maybe more than once. I'm not sure. I'm not like it's hard to play what would have happened. Who you can't ever tell who would have won, especially because there's so many different unknowns. Like you don't know if someone gets injured or something like that because unfortunately that is a part of our sport. And like you can't say for sure if someone would have won, wouldn't have won. But I mean, I think that that's something that we definitely did get robbed of was seeing those two going at it, and I think the battles would have been incredible.
100%. And it takes a special mentality in a person to walk away at the he just won the championship. He's like, mic drop, I'm out. And that was it,
Yeah,
walked away at the top of his game. I mean, that don't happen very if you go through the history of any sports ever played, road, driven, whatever it is, there's very few people that's ever said, you know what, I've done enough, I'm out and walk
and to be
away.
as young
And be as young as he
as he
was.
was,
Yeah, he was
and do
20,
it.
yeah, 28 or whatever it was when he retired. Yeah, it was
So that may not have been
yeah.
that early for back because wow, it still feels weird though, like saying 2012 like it was like back then
I know.
because like that does not feel normal to
It
me at
don't,
all.
it don't,
Like
Solly.
even though I was only 8 at the time, I mean, still like
Yeah, you're right. It's weird to say that. It's really not that long ago, but when you think back, you're like, man, there's been a lot of racing since then. It's yeah,
there's been a lot of racing since
dude,
then.
and look how evolved the sport has come since then too. It's crazy with the
Yeah,
aerodynamics and the ride height and all that
yeah. There's so
BS.
much
Yeah,
stuff. That's one of the things I love it from the mechanical engineering side. Like I absolutely I love it, and I think it's technologically advanced and it's technologically awesome from the mechanical engineering side. From the racing side of it, like the racing, my more racing side where I'm purist, I personally don't really like the aerodynamics. I mean, like I think that That's one of the. But I've never ridden a bike that's. Let's be
Yeah,
honest. I've never ridden a bike
I
that's
know.
actually
I
used
haven't either.
aerodynamics, so
Yeah,
I can't say, oh, I don't like it, or like I'm speaking like as just
aesthetically, they're not
aesthetic,
as beautiful. No.
aesthetically.
Yeah,
But I honestly, I seriously can't tell you if having those winglets actually does help because I've never ridden a bike
yeah,
and that has those winglets and has that whole shot ride height device. So I
yeah,
can't say like, oh yeah, they should be gone. They should be gone because maybe they do make those bikes rideable. Like they probably make those bikes a lot more rideable than they would be without them. But it's just aesthetically, yeah. I mean, and I don't know if the dirty air tire stuff with like where in in today's racing where like you have to back off maybe and let your tires cool down. I don't. There's so many factors that can play into that, being the tires that are actually being used, and where like it may not be the aerodynamics. Like there's so many different factors that can cause that to happen. But again, I don't ride those bikes, so I don't know.
yeah. No, I feel you on that. It's racing's done went a far way from 10 years ago. It's absolutely insane. I mean, they're just not as beautiful to me as a bike without wings. Yeah, I'm sure they help. Like you said, I've never ridden one, much less can I push one hard enough to even tell a difference. Absolutely not. Not even in a video game, right? So it's yeah, man. I wish if there's one thing I would love to see them do away with is the ride height device and the um, aerodynamics. Do we really need 300 horsepower on a motorcycle? I mean, I just feel like it's take Magello, one of my favorite tracks. You watch it from the air, man. The walls are so close together. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah,
and honestly, they don't use all 300 horsepower anyway. It's always they tone it down to go the quickest around the racetrack. So do we really need
yeah.
300 horsepower? It's
Well,
cool, right? Like, yeah, I got 300 horsepower, but
the dual side of that is like if you take away the winglets and you take away the whole shot devices, do the bikes then go slow enough to where it's okay if they're 300 horsepower? Because the thing is that the winglets are helping them corner faster.
yeah,
Like regardless of whether like aesthetically whatever that they're doing or like what they look like, they're helping them corner because the bikes nowadays that have wings are going faster than they've ever gone before. Now that could be down to engine development. Again, it could be down to the whole shot, but all of those play a factor alongside the wings to make the bikes go faster. So I mean, the question is if you take away the wings entirely and you take away the whole shot ride height device that squats and drops as they drive, does it does it slow down the bikes enough to where, hey, maybe it's safe, maybe they don't even have to change the engines? Now, obviously, MotoGP's made that decision for us. They're going to 850s um, in 27.
yep,
Um, but it would have been an interesting thing to talk about, like if they would have just removed the ban aerodynamics entirely, ban ground effect aerodynamics and stuff like that, and then just have the bikes be normal bikes but have a lot of horsepower. So there's so many different things that you could play around with pro
yeah.
bike. Now the manufacturers chose to reduce the size, I think, of the aerodynamics. Like
They did.
they chose to reduce the size of the winglets and the rear like Stegosaurus fin, uh, like the rear seat winglets, and they also banned the ride height device outright. So the manufacturers made their decision on that point. It's just like it would have been cool maybe to see the wings get eliminated entirely and for them to stay at 1,000 cc maybe. Again, I don't know.
Yeah. One thing I always said, Solly, was all this development with the arrows and all this stuff. There could have been so much cheaper and easier way to do it. Make the tires not as good.
There's that.
I mean, that just right there, just the two black round things, just make them not as
Yeah,
sticky and is good, right? And then problem solved. So yeah,
yeah. Just the only thing as a racer is that for me, like so for my Dunlops, I love my Dunlops, and like that's one of the big things that I love riding is I love having confidence on those tires, and I love knowing that like hey I can push on them. if they were to go to a worse compound, I mean, I'm not sure if I would necessarily be the most happy, but again, that's another thing that you could do. Like
Yeah.
in the multitude of things that you can change to slow down the bikes, make them slower. There's obviously making the tires just a little bit worse, making them not be able to sustain grip or making them maybe wear out faster. I don't know how you'd
Yeah.
exactly would play with that. I'm not well versed.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Yeah, I just get on and ride. That's it, right? I'll leave all that up to all you guys, yeah, and girls. Um,
Pretty much.
Listen, dude, we're an hour and 10 minutes into this podcast already. I told you it was gonna fly by really quick. So we're gonna end this here in a few minutes, Solly. These other personal questions I'm actually gonna save for our part two. I am gonna ask you one more before I let you give all your shout outs and all that good stuff. Um, if you had one superpower, what superpower would you have?
Ooh, for me, hmm, this isn't that hard of a question, but at the same time, it is a hard question.
That's why I
Um,
ask it.
because again, you could say like laser eyes, you're being invisible, like, but that's easy. Uh, and actually, maybe I will go easy. I'd love to be able to fly. Like, let's be honest. Who wouldn't want to be able to do that? Like, I mean, like, it'd be cool to like. Oh, I'm not scared of heights anymore, just because. Oh, if I fall, I can just fly. Like, I don't know how you could explain how it works, but like an anti-gravitational pull or something like that. But I mean, the ability to break the laws of physics and just start floating off the ground is a pretty cool idea for me. So I mean, um, I don't know. I think that that's actually a pretty cool superpower because I mean, being invisible, yeah, you can hide and stuff like that. But I mean, I think it'd be really cool to like float across the Grand Canyon and see stuff from above.
I
You get to be in
agree.
an airplane without being in an airplane. So I mean,
Superman's
I don't
always been
know.
my favorite growing up, so I'm with you on that. Flying would be absolutely amazing. But I think for me, if I had to pick one, I think it'd be probably teleportation. Because I could be like,
Oh,
hey,
that's a fair
Solly, I'm
one.
gonna show up real quick. We're gonna set up and do this podcast live. Boom, there. I'm there. Okay, I'm going home to eat dinner. Boom, there. I'm back. Or hey, I'm
Actually,
gonna meet you
that's a
at the
smart
ridge.
one.
Boom, yeah, yeah. Hey, guess what? I'm gonna
That's a
go to the
really smart
BSB
one.
race. Yeah, it'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool,
but if
huh?
you fly, technically you could get there. It just depends upon how fast you are. So I
Facts,
mean,
facts. And
like,
you get to see the scenery. I don't get to see the scenery, so
no, well, you get to be there instantly though. Like I have to
to be
take
there.
time to
You
be
gotta
there.
take time.
So like again, there's pros and cons for everything.
It's always a
Like
double-edged
for being
sword,
invisible, you could sneak on an airplane. So I mean, like
bro. You see, sneak through TSA real quick. Just go around the outside against the
yeah.
wall. Bye. I'm out. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Listen, Solly, this has been a lot of fun. It was an absolute honor to have
Oh
you on the
yeah.
podcast. I'm looking forward to part two. So what I'll do is what do you got going on this weekend? Friday's my wife's birthday, but maybe Sunday I'll shoot you. I'll just give you a call Sunday, and you can sit down and schedule our part two. Um,
Awesome. Yeah, if you want to text me, call me. That's absolutely perfect.
yeah,
And
do that.
I'll reach back out to you. Yeah, that'll be Sunday works perfectly. I don't know what my schedule is regarding next week, but I am a very flow down the river kind of person.
Me too.
Flow down the river kind of person. It it comes as it goes. So
Yeah, we'll make it happen. I'll shoot you a
absolutely.
text to see if you're free, and then we'll get on the phone and schedule it. But for now, Solly, tell everybody where they can find you on social medias. Do you have any T-shirts or merch for sale people can buy or
Um,
anything like that?
we're working on the merch. We're working on the t-shirts because like Randy from Nitro Graphics did an awesome job of designing a new logo for us for me, and like that's what I've been wearing, and that's what my hats have been saying and stuff like that, and he's done an awesome job. So you can find me on Instagram at Solly Mervis 25. 25 has just been the number that I've always used. Um, you can find me on uh, Facebook, I think, at Solly Mervis Racing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's that one. You can find me on TikTok at Solly.Mervis25. Um, and then our website is icebarnracing.com.
I love it. I love it. And on my end, real quick, before I end this podcast, I always got to say, man, thank you for all the love and support from everybody that likes and subscribes to the show. If you had not had the opportunity, hit the bells, the ding dongs, the TikToks, all that good stuff that goes along with it. Excuse me, it's greatly appreciated. And all the love to every single one of you guys and girls, because without Solly and everybody coming on here, I wouldn't be able to do this. So it's been an absolute honor. Big shout out to Next Level Financial for all your financial needs, bisontrack.com for all your leather needs, Chef Eats, TST Industries, theclothingkings.co.uk. People always ask me about my beanie hats and my soft shell jacket, Solly, that I have. You guys can go to this website right here, theclothingking.co.uk. At the top of the website, it'll say partnership. Click on
That's
that, scroll
awesome.
down, and find Pin the Gas for all your merch. Um, Big shout out to SFL Mini GP in Jersey and in South Florida. They're an absolutely amazing program. RD Racing and my man Jake Marsh out there in the UK. Vet2 Track for all my veterans out there. Go to vet2track.com. His whole motto is curing PTSD one lap at a time. His whole program is absolutely amazing. So all the vets, vet2track.com. Flying Eyes Optics for your sunglass needs. 64-degree racing for your undersuits. Also, my friend Venom sport.com for all your undersuits. I got a couple friends that make undersuits. You're not gonna go wrong by ordering anything from any one of them. Big shout out to roadracingworld.com. I need everybody to go and donate to the air fences. Imperative that we have the air fences. If we don't have them, Solly's not coming to show up racing. We're not showing up to support Solly or any of our friends, even at track day. So roadracingworld.com. Please donate to the air fence. And thank you so much. Big shout out to BTR Build Train Race. Everybody knows I'm a huge fan of them. They just got done racing at the Ridge. I'm proud of every single one of my friends this weekend. All of you guys did amazing jobs. And Solly, you too. You're absolutely included in that. Big shout out to KYT Helmets, K Tech Suspension, Ghetto Customs for all your body work, Drip and Wet Graphics, REB Graphics, and GRG Graphics. Any one of those three will absolutely take care of you. So I got this new camera for. This is actually an Insta 360 camera, and it's like follows me, like cut on. And
That's
anyway,
awesome.
yeah, it's pretty
That's
cool,
cool.
Molly. Big shout out to Woodcraft, Mark 10 Motorsports, Free Hug Racing, Nicole Polyich Photography, Stick Boy Racing, Adrenaline Engineering, Pit Lane Moto, and if anybody you know, any of your friends or family that's ever been in a motorcycle accident and that maybe has been unfortunate and been paralyzed or lost an arm or a leg or whatever it is, you can still get on a motorcycle and ride. What I need you guys to do right now is go to tbexusaexperience.org. Look, man, my camera's going crazy. And yeah, go to them and sign up, and they'll get you out there on a bike. You absolutely can ride. Don't let that stop you from doing what you love to do. And last but not least, big shout out to CW Moto. So I got a good buddy of mine all the way from the UK named Luca Allen that's racing on CW Moto, which my buddy Chris actually runs the team. So yeah, let's go. Have you met Luca Allen yet, Solly?
Yes.
Bro,
Funny story. I know him from not just from meeting him at MotoAmerica at Mid Ohio, but I actually met him through we met at just a random karting track in Spain because I got when I took a gap year in 2024, uh, I got an opportunity to go over with Mac McCluggage and Chris McCluggage. Thank you to them. And I got to see a little bit of the world, and I got to broaden my horizons. And I actually met him there, which was surprising that when he showed up at Mid Ohio, we kind of both looked at each other and were like, "Oh, we already know each other. Wait a minute, like I know who this guy is. We know he knows who I am." That was awesome, and so yeah, I know it's cool seeing him in the paddock, and it's cool to see international flavor inside the paddock. It's always awesome.
110%. Yeah, it's that was the first time I met him was at Mid Ohio last year. Of course, I've had him on my podcast. Y'all stay tuned because he's coming back on. But and we've been friends for shoot like a year and a half, and WhatsApp chatting, blah 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 blah, this good stuff. And to finally meet him was absolutely, yeah, proper mega. And him getting a ride here with my buddy at CW Moto was just it's funny how things come full circle. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
absolutely. Well, listen, Solly, you, my friend, is a proper mega legend. Like I said earlier, all the dreams you have and visions and goals you want to reach in road racing, man, not only that, in life in general, bro. I hope you achieve those 10 times over. I'm absolutely a fan. And yeah, your future is bright, my friend. And everybody, if you guys didn't join in on this, so this is a new format. So I haven't seen any chats, but I see people are watching. So I got to figure out what's going on there. But anyway, this episode will be out on Spotify, iHeart, and all that good stuff tomorrow. I'll tag you on all the socials, Solly. I'll text you all the links and all that good stuff. So anyway,
Awesome.
on that note, I hope everybody has a proper mega 4th of July. It is my wife's B-Day weekend. So blow her social media up. Tell her happy birthday. She's going to kill me for that, by the way, but do it. And yeah, Solly, it's been an absolute honor to have you on, my friend, and can't wait to meet you here in the next at least a month because you will be at VIR when I'll be there. So if not, I'll see
Yeah.
you then. So
Yeah. Thank you for everything. Thank you for having me on. And I just wanted to say, yeah, thank you for doing what you do. I mean, what you're doing for the sport and what you're doing with connecting with all these different riders and bringing them on and giving them a platform to speak. That's awesome. Like I just wanted to say thank you.
thank you, Solly. It means the world to me, man. It's an absolute honor. So thank you very much, my friend. And yeah, I can't end the podcast any better than that. So we're going to end this, Solly. Thank you so much. Be expecting my call Sunday. I'll shoot you a text and we'll go ahead and sort out part two. And my friend, it's been proper mega. Tell your mom and dad I said hello, and I'm a big hugger. So give them hugs for me. And I will see you in person soon, my friend. And I'll talk to you Sunday.
Yes, sir. You have a nice 4th of July.
You
Thank you.
too, Solly. All right, my friend. I'll see you.
See ya. Bye.